Okay, so this is a Nuke Egg, and really good in the spring. And it's super simple. You can tie these in close to a minute probably if you get the hang of it. But all it is just two types of egg yarn on a size 8 egg hook. So like I said, really good fly for the spring. And then this color scheme is probably our favorite with the orange core and the chartreuse veil. For some reason this thing works under most conditions, dirty water and clear water. So, and the trout like them too. So start with our hook here. This is the Gamakatsu egg hook in 8. Could use any style egg hook, but this one is kind of a standard here. So we're gonna go with that. And then for thread, we like a white 100 denier gel spun. It's just good because you can torque on it. It's not gonna break, and you can really get a good tie down on that egg yarn. So do a good thread base here, and when you're centered, you should be hanging right by the hook point. And then we're gonna get a little chunk of this McFly foam. This is gonna be our core nucleus. That's why it's called the Nuke Egg, nucleus. So just get a little tuft of this, get it centered with a lasso wrap, and then sort of pivot it 90 degrees so it's coming off each side. And then you can figure eight the center just a few times, and then get it nice and tight because you don't want this thing sliding back down the bend. So just do a couple figure 8 turns here in the middle and get it nice and locked in. Just like that. Should end up with something like this. And then we're gonna obviously trim this. So just grab both tufts of it, get it nice and tight, kind of spin it, and then get in with your scissors and do one clean cut. So that should leave you with a nice ball of yarn there right in the center. So that's gonna be our nucleus. And for the veil, it's important not to use this McFly foam. This stuff is so stretchy and it's thick that it doesn't have the translucency that this stuff has. This is the glow bug yarn. This is what you want to be using for the veil on these flies. It's straighter, it doesn't stretch as much, and it just ends up working out better for a veil. So you can get about a 2-inch piece of this stuff, and this is going to be way too much. So all you need is a very thin sliver of this stuff, almost like that. So what we're going to do is thin this out. We're going to tie it in the middle, and then this front half is going to be folded back, and you're going to end up with a nice clean veil on there. So so this can be thinned out quite a bit to the point where it's just basically nothing. I mean, like I said, it's going to be doubled over. So I would say something like this. You're looking for a thin, like a thin sheet of it, real thin, like that. So I'm gonna kind of drape it over the, excuse me, I'm gonna drape it over the hook here, and I'm gonna kind of land my thread right through the middle of this. So that's gonna be our back half of the veil right there. And then this forward section is gonna be folded back, and it's gonna thicken this veil. So I like to whip finish it right here. That way it hides your thread out front. Just ends up looking a little nicer. So I'll do 2 whips. And then you can just cut this right out. Then you're gonna have to come in for the forward, or the front half, and just make sure that all these fibers are kind of radiating out of that center. And then just fold it back. And that's it. That is it. See how clean the head is? There's no thread showing. I like to whip finish in the middle of that yarn so the thread isn't, you don't have a big visible whip finish up front here. So there's that, and then the last step is to just come in, and I like to kind of rest my blade on the back of the hook here and just cut it straight up. Finished. There you go. And the whole thing with this fly, if you compare this to like a standard egg fly, like a glow bug, those yarn eggs don't really have the dimension that this has. So when this gets wet, you've got sort of a 2-layer appearance. You've got like the nucleus and then the yolk of it. So it's just a little bit more convincing than a standard yarn egg. Works great in the spring and fall actually, but seems to work really good in the spring. So yeah, that's the Nuke Egg. So tie some of these up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.